What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down 3 tips for quarterbacks to get the starting job on their team. So we're going to be talking about 3 things that coaches are looking for in a starting quarterback and how you guys can improve those aspects of your game. So I hope this video helps you guys out. I hope it gives you some value. But also, fellas, we are going to be traveling out to 15 more states this offseason for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camps. We're going to be coming out to San Francisco, Orlando, Florida, New Orleans, Charlotte, North Carolina, Dallas, Texas, DMV, St. Louis, Missouri, Honolulu, Hawaii, Boston, Massachusetts, Cleveland, Ohio, Austin, Texas, Seattle, Washington, Newark, New Jersey, Denver, Colorado, and Los Angeles, California. So if you guys are local to those areas, want to come out and get some working with myself and my staff of coaches for 2 whole days, check out that very first link in the description below. Let's get started with this video. So now, first things first, when it comes to being a starting quarterback, you got to make sure that you have a quick release. Now, quick release doesn't necessarily mean that your arm needs to stay compact. What a quick release means is that you need to be able to get the ball out of your hands as fast as possible. Not as quick with the arm motion as possible, as fast as possible. So what do I mean by that? And that means arm speed. So you see how when Bryce Young goes to make this throw, I think everybody can pretty much say he's got one of the quickest releases in college football and soon will be in the NFL when he gets there. But watch how low he drops this ball. Your quarterback coach, when you're freaking 5 years old, will say that this is a terrible habit. You shouldn't drop the ball low. You need to keep the ball up by your ear because it's quicker. That could be the furthest thing from the truth. The thing that gets the ball out quicker is your hip rotation, your front stride, and your weight transfer. Now, as you know, I'm a big believer in that stuff if you're familiar with the videos on this channel. But how do we get to there? How do we get that quick release? So you see when Bryce Young drops back, when he hits that back leg, where's his weight? His weight is loaded on his back leg. That's the first key to being able to have a good release and get the ball to your hands quickly. You need to be in a good pre-throw position that doesn't allow for wasted motion. A lot of times quarterbacks will stand in the pocket and they'll be super tall. They won't have any knee bend. They won't have any weight on their back leg. And so when a receiver comes open, they start to load up. They'll start extended. They won't already be loaded and they have to dip down to throw. That is wasted motion, fellas. We want to be in this position. We want to be preloaded at all times. Now, why does that involve weight being on your back leg? Wouldn't you think, oh, you want weight on your front leg because that means your weight's already transferred. You can get the ball out quicker. Not necessarily, because your hip rotation is what will speed up the arm. Talked about arm speed earlier, right? Arm speed comes from your hip rotation and your torque. So when you have weight on your back leg, the goal of having that weight there is to transfer it. You want to take that weight and shift it to the front foot. That is what will create your front stride. Look at Bryce Young. He barely takes a stride right here, but his weight still goes through. He still is getting that weight from back leg to front leg. You look at guys like Tom Brady, they do the exact same thing. And I think we can all argue, Aaron Rodgers is another one. I think we can all argue they all have a very, very quick release. Because if you don't have a quick release, your head's getting taken off, especially at the level these guys play at. So you being able to keep your weight back, shifting it through, that is what will allow your hips to rotate through. Because your hip rotation comes from weight transfer. I'm sure everybody saw Dak Prescott doing that one hip warm-up drill. That's based on weight transfer. It's not based on hips. It's based on weight transfer. You saw when he would throw, it would be his front foot would get down and his weight would come through. That is exactly what speeds up the arm and speeds up the release time. So to have a quicker release, fellas, it's not necessarily about rushing your arm. It's not about shortening your arm. Obviously, you don't want your arm to drop in this real long circle. But it's okay if you have a little bit longer of a release. Just you need the arm speed to be fast. And that comes from weight transfer and hip rotation and being preloaded in the pocket. Let's play this thing again full speed one more time. Then we will get to the next clip of Kyler Murray and talking about how this clip can benefit you in being a starter for your team. So the game, playing the quarterback position, is constantly evolving, right? And this kind of ties into what we were just talking about with Bryce Young. But the game is constantly evolving. There are tons of new innovations to this position every single year. But the main thing that is innovated the last few years is quarterbacks being able to extend the play. So if you want to be a starter, especially if you want to play at the next level, especially if you want to play in high school, offenses are changing. They're asking a lot more out of their quarterbacks to be an athlete. We don't need you to run a 4.4 40, a 4.3 40. We don't need that. Not even a 4.6. We just need you to be able to extend the play when needed. I don't need you to pull the ball down and run. I need you to extend the play. So let's play this clipper from Kyler Murray full speed. So again, a guy like Kyler Murray with his athleticism, it's always probably fairly easy to just take off and run and he's going to go get a first down, right? But when he drops back, you see he's getting some pressure, especially if you are a shorter quarterback. I cannot stress this enough because there are a lot of guys out there nowadays that can flat out play. They're just short. But guys like Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, the shorter quarterbacks of the world are showing or paving a way for guys that, okay, it is possible to play. You just have to be able to have these attributes. And that's extending the play. So with his athleticism, he starts to feel pressure. It's probably fairly easy for him to just pull it down, and all he's got to do is beat this linebacker. But he's a passer first. To be that starter on your team, they're not looking for the best athlete. They're looking for a guy who could get the ball to their playmakers. So you got to have great pocket movement. You see when Murray's working in the pocket here, and what great pocket movement comes down to is getting yourself out of trouble, but always being in a position to get the ball out of your hands. Just like what we talked about with Bryce Young. It's about having a quick release. Well, having good pocket movement is that. So you see when Murray's moving through the pocket here, he's got weight on his back leg. He is loaded. He is preloaded. No matter where he's at, he's in a position to make the throw. He's in a position to throw. It's not there. He gets right back to that platform, right back to that base. So when that throw does come open, he could transfer his weight, get his hips to rotate through and go. That is the name of the game in the pocket. You have to keep your eyes downfield, obviously, but you have to maintain that base. So fellas, if you want to be that starter, if you want to be the guy for your team, you got to be able to extend the play. And extending the play comes down to having no wasted motion back there and always being ready to get the ball out of your hands. Now, this is something that I wish I would have done more of, right? Like, and it maybe it was a lack of experience when I first started playing, but when you play quarterback, like, and you're a good athlete, I'm sure a lot of you know this, you drop back and you feel pressure, and you could pull it down and run, you're just going to go pull it down and run. And people won't say anything about it, right? But it's these throws. You see the down and distance, 3rd and 8. That's what they're looking for, that, especially at the college level, right? They're not looking for the guy who just, since he feels pressure, he senses pressure, he's just going to go run it. Looking for guys to extend the play. I wish that's something I worked more on, because I was a good enough athlete to where I could just pull it down and go run, make a couple guys miss, get a first down. But hey, I want them to make the plays. I want the receivers to make the plays. I'm a distributor. I am a passer first. That is how you guys have to think if you want to be a starter. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time, and then we'll talk about the football IQ side of things and how that can help you become a starter for your team. Great example there from Kyler Murray about extending the play. So this is going to be a bad example of a QB kind of forcing the ball over the middle. So main thing, this type of throw right here, I wanted to include this because I don't think this is just a case of, oh, the quarterback was just buying time and he threw it. I think it's a lack of knowing the playbook. I think it's a lack of knowing where to go with the ball. So let's play this thing full speed. So he drops back, no real pressure. He gets out of the pocket and he throws and he gets his receiver killed, right? So this should be avoided in every possible situation, every team possible, by simply knowing where to throw the ball. Because when you guys drop back, especially if you're playing high-level high school ball, high-level college ball, you got to get comfortable here. But you see, when he starts to drop back, this QB, where's all of his weight? All of his weight's on his front foot, right? He's not going through progressions. He doesn't really necessarily, in this case, know where to go with the ball. And that comes down to football IQ, fellas. If you want to be a starting quarterback, you got to know where to go with the ball. It's more than just let me drop back and let me just try to find an open receiver. You're not reading receivers. You are reading defenders. If this defender goes here, I am going there with the ball. It is not, oh, my receiver's not open, I'm going to go try to find another receiver and look across the field. And especially when you're not getting any pressure, you don't need to get out of the pocket. But what ends up happening is he gets out of the pocket and runs. He sees a receiver open. He's trying to make this highlight throw. But when you throw it late over the middle like this, your receiver is going to get absolutely obliterated. And nobody wants to see it. That's flat out dangerous. It's flat out dangerous to have that kind of play on the field. So you have to know where to go with the ball. That is the number one thing. When you throw over the middle, you have to be on time. And being on time comes down to knowing your coverages and knowing your stuff. Because, like, think about it, right? This receiver's running like, say he's running a post, right? So let's say maybe on both sides of the field, let's draw up a play right here. Let's say this is the quarterback. Let me clear this out. Let's say this is the quarterback. We're in doubles, right? So we got the X here, L, R, Z, right? And let's say left side where he was looking first was maybe running like a 10-yard out post. And then let's say backside was running like a post and then a wheel. You're not going to be able to look to the left side of the field on this type of concept and go, oh, that's not there. Let me look to the post. Those two types of play concepts are different beaters for each specific coverage. So like if it's maybe too high, we like the out fade. If it's maybe one high, we like the post wheel. It's not, oh, that's not there. Let me look to the other side. This is just for example. I don't know what play they were calling, but we cannot have that attitude. We cannot do that as a quarterback if you expect to be a starter. So I'm going to play this full speed, and then we're going to show a good example of a quarterback going through his progressions, staying in the pocket, and then not getting his receiver killed. So this is a good example right here. So we're looking at this quarterback. This is him him throwing the ball on time over the middle. You see the anticipation. You see how he's throwing this before this opposite safety gets there. And there are going to be some tight windows, don't get me wrong. But you see where his eyes go. Everything about this drop, everything about this throw is in rhythm. He drops back, right? His eyes to the left. He's reading a defender. He's looking at the safety. Sees the safety widens. Okay, on time, I'm going to throw this ball to my guy over the middle. If he waits and he's staring the receiver down, he hits him on the other side of the field, that's when he gets killed by another corner, by another safety. Fellas, you have to be on time. You have to know where to go with the ball. Understand the read keys. If you don't know what a read key is, ask your high school coach. Be like, hey, who's my read on this? If he tells you you're looking at this receiver to there, that's wrong. Who am I looking at defender-wise? What defender dictates where I'm going with the ball? That is what you need to do. That will keep your receivers safe, number one, but that will make you look like a starting quarterback. Anticipation, being on time, all that comes from your football IQ. Knowing where to go with the ball before the defense even gets set. Knowing who you're going to read before they even get set. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. And again, fellas, if you guys would like to come out to one of our 15 off-season camps, we're going to 15 different cities across the U.S. We're super pumped to get out there. Check out that very first link in the description below. I'll see you guys next time.